Hey guys, how's it going? It's Adam here for another hit on your aviation videos. I just got a acceleration for Microsoft Flight Simulator, so we're going to try that out. We're going to do a carrier mission with the FA-18 Hornet. Let's
In this
get to it.
tutorial, you'll learn about basic FA-18 Hornet operations, carrier operations, how to use the catapult, how to fly a VFR pattern, and how to make an arrested landing. As the carrier gets underway, let's go over some of the Hornet systems with the engines off. The Hornet is designed for naval operations. It has very strong landing gear to take the abuse of carrier landings, and a tailhook for quick stops on a short deck. Two engines provide plenty of power. Now that both engines are running, release the brakes and ease the throttle forward very slightly. With two high-thrust engines, it doesn't take much to get moving. We won't be going over avionics or doing a thorough cockpit orientation here, but take a look around. Try to locate the main controls you'll use, such as the throttles, gear lever, hook lever, flap lever, and speed brake lever. Taxi to one of the two catapults on the bow of the carrier. We'll fly a left-hand traffic pattern. The standard VFR pattern from a carrier is flown at 600 feet and 150 knots. But in this tutorial, we'll fly it at 2,000 feet and 200 knots to make it a little easier. When you're near a catapult, lower the launch bar with the controls in the cockpit. Then press Shift-I to attach and arm the catapult. Be sure the brakes are off. Lower the flaps to takeoff position by pressing the F7 key once. When you're ready to go, advance the throttles to full military power. You don't need afterburner to take off using the catapult. Press Shift Spacebar to launch.
Thanks for that, Instructor Bobby. I know he says not to use afterburners, but it's always fun to do it. And I'm cheating a little bit here with my extra camera, but oh well. Just listen to the thrust of these engines as the afterburner starts up. It's amazing.
Pull back on the stick and climb away from the carrier. Climb to 2,000 feet. Don't exceed 200 knots. Turn left to a heading of 200 and enter a downwind leg parallel to the carrier. On downwind, you should be level at 2,000 feet, flying at 200 knots. Descend to a pattern height of 2,000 feet for this tutorial.
Oh, I'm a little high. Oh well. Sorry, Bobby.
Slow down to 200 knots. Use the speed brake to slow down. Raise the flaps.
Oh, by the way, in my past video, my last one's just gone, I named the instructor Bobby. So, at the moment that name stays for any instructor on this simulator, but if anybody comes up with any better ideas for funny names for instructors, then go ahead. Because most of the time the instructors tell you, well, on this, sorry, instructors tell you stuff that are completely known and you kind of already know it, kind of thing. So I wanted a bit of a silly name for him.
Stretching across the deck are 4 cables that the tailhook can hook onto. Extend the gear. Don't flare on landing. Just fly the aircraft directly onto the deck in a tail-low attitude. Don't let your descent rate exceed 700 feet per minute or you might damage the landing gear. Lower the flaps 1 notch for the approach. Lower the tail hook by pressing Shift Q. Adjust power to maintain 170 knots.
You can see all of this stuff happening with the other mini screen that I've put up there. I'll just put that there so you can see what I'm actually doing when I'm doing it. Like when I'm putting gear down, you'll see it happening as I'm doing it in the cockpit. So I thought it'd be a nice little added bonus to you viewers.
Make a 180-degree turn to the left and line up for landing. The landing signal officer will give you some guidance on final if you need it. Wave off means you're not in position to land. Bolter means you missed the cables. In either case, add full thrust, go around and try again. If you trap a cable, the LSO will tell you which one and will announce that the deck is red, unsuitable for landing by other aircraft. Adjust power to maintain 170 knots.
Let's hope we do good in this, because I don't usually fly Hornets or Super Hornets or anything like that. It's usually commercial aircraft that I fly on simulators, so let's see how we do. We're looking for a trap 1 wire. That's what we're aiming for here. We don't want a bolter or anything like that. So fingers crossed. Obviously I'm butting in the audio after this, so I'm actually talking while watching what I'm doing. I've already done this, so I know what's going to happen and I know the future. But you don't, so just sit back and relax.
Remain above 1,000 feet until you're on a 2-mile final. Adjust power to maintain 150 knots. You're landing on the angled deck, so you need to be to the right of the carrier as you approach. The carrier is heading directly into the wind. To land on the angled deck, you need to compensate for the crosswind. You should be able to see the top of the deck throughout your approach. If you can't see the deck, you're too low. Lower full flaps and maintain 130 knots. Adjust power to maintain 130 knots. Slow to 130 knots for the final approach.
You're fast.
Alright, listen up to the guy now and listen to what he says.
355, 3/4 mile. Call the ball.
The ball is the yellow indicator on the visual landing system on the left side of the flight deck. If the ball is higher than the row of green lights, you're too high. If the ball is lower than the green lights, you're too low. If the ball is red, you're dangerously low.
You're slow.
Taking this landing here is just wobbling from side to side, and here I'm a little low. I build up speed to get up higher. It makes me just think of Top Gun. It makes me feel like Cougar. If you haven't seen Top Gun, go watch it right now. Well, after you finish this video.
Trap, 1 wire, red deck.
Great landing. Raise the tailhook to release from the cable. If you'd like to practice more carrier landings, try flying the carrier practice mission. Descend to a pattern height of 2,000 feet for this tutorial.
Okay, well guys, that went pretty good. That's the end of the video for today, so remember to like, favorite and subscribe, and come back for some more videos in the future. Keep in mind, if you subscribe, you'll get information when I put up videos, so it'll be easier. I'll put a link to the Facebook page in the description box below, so go have a look at that. That'll tell you when videos are coming up. Okay? Catch you all later. Have fun.